There's something oddly quiet about a white flower that never blooms the way you hoped. Maybe you planted it in the spring with all the right intentions. Maybe you watered it, cared for it, even whispered a small wish as you placed it by the porch or under the window. And yet the house still feels heavy. The air doesn't quite move. The days feel stuck in place. It's easy to assume that the problem lies elsewhere, in the clutter, the noise, the routine. But sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest influence. And in this case, it might be two innocent white flowers that are either gently opening the door to prosperity or quietly keeping it shut. Today, we're talking about Magnolia, Alba, and Arabian Jasmine, two white flowering plants long believed to carry energies of peace, opportunity, and abundance. They're not rare. You might already have one growing just outside your kitchen window. But what most people don't realize is this: it's not just the plant that matters. It's where you plant it, how you care for it, and what kind of energy you bring into the process. Because even the most beautiful flower, when placed in the wrong direction or under the wrong light, can begin to lose its power. Or worse, it can block the very energy it's meant to attract. This isn't about superstition or folklore. It's about awareness, about noticing how your home feels and how your garden breathes. And if you've ever felt like your space is beautiful but still somehow stuck, you're not alone. The truth is, most people plant these flowers with good intentions but miss the subtle details that make all the difference. So before you place another pot on the porch, let's pause. Let's look a little closer. Because what grows around you often reflects what's waiting to grow within you. Part 1. When beauty is misplaced, it becomes a burden. We've all done it, placed a flower by the front steps because it looked pretty there, chose a sunny spot in the yard because it seemed cheerful, hung a planter by the window because the light was good and the pot matched the curtains, and for a while it felt right, until something shifted. The room felt a little more restless. Mornings started with tension you couldn't quite name. There was no big reason, just a quiet weight in the air. And the strange thing is, most of us never think to look at the plants. But beauty, when misplaced, can become a burden. A white flower in the wrong corner is not just decorative, it can be disruptive. This isn't about fear, it's about alignment. About whether the energy around you flows like a breeze through an open house, or whether it hits a wall and circles back as fatigue, static, or silent stress. If that sounds too subtle to matter, let me offer this. Subtle things are exactly what shape the feel of a home. In traditional wisdom and in more and more modern design theories, our spaces don't just reflect us, they shape us. And the plants we choose play a bigger role than we realize. They're not just alive, they are reactive, responsive. They absorb tension, soften moods, and shift the way light and scent travel through a space. And when they are in the wrong place, even just a few feet off, they can interrupt more than we think. Take Magnolia Alba, for example. Its fragrance is soft, not demanding. The kind that rises in the morning and fades with grace by afternoon. But that gentleness has a direction. It wants to move with the light, not against it. Planted in the wrong spot, especially one with harsh afternoon sun or stale air, it begins to close in on itself. The leaves curl, the scent flattens, and inside the home, things shift in quiet ways. Sleep feels lighter but not restful. Conversations start but don't finish. The house feels full but not warm. It's not the plant's fault. It's the misalignment, like wearing a wool coat in spring. It still fits, but it feels wrong. And just as the wrong outfit can make you restless all day, the wrong energy in your home can leave you tired in ways you can't name. And that's where white flowers become more than just flowers. They become mirrors, because white carries purity but also exposure. A white flower shows everything: the soil it grows from, the intention it was planted with, the corner it was placed in. It doesn't hide imbalance, it reveals it. And when placed without awareness, that beauty becomes uncomfortable, out of place, off rhythm. You may not see it right away, but you'll feel it in the way your home resists your rest, or in how often you find yourself sighing without knowing why. One woman I spoke to had a stunning pot of jasmine right outside her back door. She'd picked it for its beauty, and because her grandmother loved the smell. She watered it every other morning, even added wind chimes nearby for good luck. But something always felt off. Her patio, meant to be her quiet spot, never felt relaxing. Her coffee never tasted quite right out there. Until one day she moved the Jasmine just 3 feet, from the shadowed corner to a sunlit edge facing east. She didn't expect much, but that evening she stayed outside an hour longer than usual. The breeze felt warmer, the silence kinder. That's all it took, 3 feet. And the burden lifted. This isn't about perfection. It's not about formulas or magic numbers. It's about noticing, about tuning into the small things, how a flower leans, how the air moves when you walk past, how you feel when you sit near it. It's about asking, does this placement support me, or does it slowly take from me? Because here's the truth no one talks about: even good things, when placed wrong, become heavy. A beautiful rug in the wrong color makes the room feel dull. A lovely chair too close to the door creates tension you don't see, but feel. A white flower, pure and well-meant, can accidentally block light if it shadows the wrong window. Or worse, it can take up emotional space without you realizing. You walk past it every day and feel nothing, not peace, not beauty, just a thing, and that's when you know the energy is off. But the good news, it's not fixed. It's never too late to adjust. Plants forgive. Energy resets. You can move the pot, you can shift the light, you can say a quiet wish and try again. Because when a white flower is placed with intention in the right corner with the right care, it transforms. It doesn't just bloom, it blesses. The room breathes differently, the air stirs, and without quite knowing why, your morning starts smoother. Your home feels softer, your thoughts a little clearer. So the next time you pass by a white flower, whether it's by your door, on your porch, or in your garden, pause. Don't ask if it looks pretty. Ask how it feels. Ask what it's holding. Because maybe, just maybe, it's been waiting for you to notice that it's been out of place all along. And when you do, you might find that all it takes to shift the energy of your whole home is to move one flower just a little closer to where the light begins. Part 2, Magnolia Alba, a door to peace or a door locked shut. Some flowers don't need to bloom loudly. They don't beg for attention or paint the garden in drama. Magnolia Alba is one of those flowers. Its white petals open like a slow exhale, quiet and assured, like the kind of peace that doesn't announce itself, but changes everything once it arrives. And yet, for all its grace, Magnolia Alba can also be a closed door. Not by design, but by misplacement, by being planted where its power can't breathe. And when that happens, instead of opening space for prosperity and clarity, it quietly locks them out. People love Magnolia Alba for good reason. The scent is unlike anything else, soft, clean, a little sweet, but never overpowering. It lingers in the air the way good memories do, gently, without clinging. It's the kind of fragrance that makes you stop mid-step and take a deeper breath. That pause alone can shift the energy in a space. But the effect only works when the flower is in harmony with where it stands. And that's where so many people get it wrong. Not out of neglect, out of habit. We plant where there's space, not where there's flow. Magnolia Alba thrives in places where morning light touches first. That soft, golden hour between waking and rushing. That's where its energy aligns. But placed in harsh afternoon sun or in tight corners with stagnant air, struggles. The leaves turn tired, the buds hesitate, and in the home nearby, that imbalance shows up in subtle ways, a restlessness that builds for no reason, a lack of focus, sleep that feels too light to restore you. Not enough to call a problem, but just enough to take the shine off your day. And the tricky part, you won't trace it back to the flower. Why would you? It's beautiful, it's blooming, it's still doing its job. But beauty isn't the same as harmony. And harmony, when blocked, creates quiet resistance. One woman told me she placed her magnolia tree right outside her living room window, thinking it would be the perfect view. But every afternoon, the sun hit that window so harshly it turned the room into a glass oven. She'd draw the curtains halfway through the day, and the tree lost its connection to the space. The room felt closed off. She started avoiding that space without meaning to. Her daughter stopped doing homework there. Her husband started eating dinner in the kitchen. Nothing broke. Nothing dramatic, but something drifted. Eventually, she moved the tree. just a few feet east. It wasn't instant magic, but within a week they were all in that room again, talking, sitting, laughing, not because of a flower, because the energy around it stopped resisting. That's the real lesson here. Magnolia Alba is a flower of transition. It supports people who feel stuck, unheard, unseen. People trying to rise through quiet storms, career fatigue, emotional fog, relationship stagnation. It doesn't force change. It invites it, but only when the conditions match. It's like a key, and like any key, it only works when turned the right way. In ancient traditions, Magnolia Alba was believed to attract not just wealth, but the kind of wealth that shows up as support. A mentor, a chance meeting, a phone call that changes everything. In today's world, where so many women carry silent weight, holding families together, balancing work and caregiving, walking through days that look calm but feel heavy, support is the one form of wealth we rarely ask for but always need. Magnolia Alba is symbolic of that, not a cure, a catalyst. So how do you unlock its power? Begin with placement. The east side of your home, where morning begins, is where Magnolia belongs. This direction isn't mystical, it's natural. Morning light is softer, kinder, more nurturing. The kind of light that doesn't force the bloom but coaxes it. If you plant in a pot, let it be wide and deep, space for roots to reach, not be constrained. And if you plant in soil, mix it with compost and sand so it drains, breathes, and holds what it needs without clinging to what it doesn't. Then comes timing. Wednesdays in many energy-based traditions are considered days of balance, not too early in the week, not rushed like Friday. A day that stands quietly in the middle. That's the best time to plant Magnolia, because planting isn't just about soil, it's about mood. If you plant while stressed, distracted, or treating it like a chore, the energy transfers. Plants may not speak, but they absorb. So let your planting be a moment, a small ritual, a breath, a decision. And finally, intention, not a prayer, not a spell. Just a sentence you say quietly to yourself as you touch the earth. Something like, "May this space feel lighter." Or, "Let clarity return to this home." It doesn't have to be grand, just real. Because when the body moves with presence, the energy responds. And a flower, especially one as sensitive as Magnolia Alba, knows the difference between being placed and being planted. You might be wondering, is this just metaphor? Can a tree really change your life? Maybe not, but maybe the act of noticing it, aligning it, moving it with care, that's what shifts something in you. And you, in turn, shift the space around you. That's where the real change begins. Because a magnolia that thrives doesn't just look good, it feels right. It draws you in without pulling. It holds presence without asking for attention. And the room near it, it starts to breathe again. Slowly, steadily, softly. So ask yourself not where your magnolia looks best, but where it belongs, where it gets to unfold without effort, where it gets to support, not decorate. Because peace doesn't arrive loudly. It grows petal by petal in the places we tend with care. And maybe, just maybe, one flower planted with quiet intention is enough to unlock a door you didn't even know was closed. Part 3. Jasmine, does its scent heal or silently overwhelm? Jasmine is a flower people reach for when they want comfort. It reminds them of summer evenings, of mothers, of something soft lingering in the air after everyone else has gone to sleep. It carries memory in its scent, clean, sweet, and unmistakable. But jasmine is also powerful, more powerful than most people realize. Its energy doesn't announce itself. It seeps in, slowly, consistently. And when placed without intention, its softness can start to feel heavy. We're drawn to jasmine because it feels like connection. It makes a space feel gentler, more feminine, more nurturing. In many cultures, jasmine represents the mother, the one who gives quietly and holds everything together without complaint. And in homes that feel disconnected, where people pass each other in the hallway without speaking, where silence isn't peaceful but tense, jasmine can be a kind of emotional bridge. Its scent can make people pause, sit a little longer, speak a little softer. But like any bridge, it has to be placed where it serves, not where it overwhelms. That's where most people go wrong. They choose jasmine for its beauty, its meaning, its emotional weight. But they forget to consider where that energy flows. And jasmine, by its very nature, needs room to breathe. It thrives in morning light. It blossoms when the air moves gently around it. And when crammed too close to a window or placed near a bedroom where the scent collects at night, it can start to push instead of soothe. What once felt calming becomes a source of headaches, tension, or even insomnia, especially for children, elderly parents, or anyone who's already sensitive to scent or energy shifts. I met a woman who had planted jasmine right outside her mother's bedroom. She wanted her mom, who struggled with anxiety, to feel calm at night. At first, it helped. The scent drifted in like a lullaby, but over time, her mother began to sleep less. Her dreams became restless. She started to keep the window closed, even on warm nights. It wasn't the flower, it was the placement. The scent had nowhere to go. The energy collected, turned inward, became stagnant. It was too much of a good thing, left with no space to flow. When she moved the plant just a few feet, farther from the window but still nearby, everything shifted. The scent softened. The room breathed again. Her mother started sleeping better. She opened the windows again. The difference wasn't dramatic, but it was real. Jasmine didn't stop being healing, it just needed the space to be helpful. That's the paradox with jasmine. It's quiet but not passive, gentle but not weak. It holds space. It expands into rooms emotionally, which means it can either nurture or smother depending on where it's rooted. That's why its placement matters just as much as its presence. If you want jasmine to truly support your home, plant it where its energy can rise, not pool. The northeast corner of your yard, balcony, or front garden is often ideal. This direction aligns with emotional growth, learning, and inner balance. And jasmine, when placed there, becomes a soft guide. A plant that doesn't just smell nice, but feels like a companion. Not in the way of flashy transformation, but in the way a quiet friend holds your hand through a hard season. And here's something else. Jasmine responds to the time you plant it. Mondays and Thursdays are energetically soft days, days that carry nurturing, calming energy. Monday especially represents home, care, and new emotional beginnings. Thursday, on the other hand, is associated with blessings, peace, and relational ease. Planting jasmine on these days helps ground its energy with yours. It makes the act of planting more than just gardening. It becomes a kind of emotional statement. I want softness here. I want connection to return. The soil matters too. Jasmine likes to be supported, not smothered. Its roots want moisture, but not wetness. It needs drainage, breathability, space to root deeply but lightly, and it doesn't like to be overcrowded. When jasmine grows too dense, the branches tangle. The scent intensifies, light gets blocked, and just like that, its energy shifts from calming to cloying, from healing to overwhelming. The act of pruning jasmine is deeply symbolic. It's not just about cutting back, it's about clearing space for breath, for light, for clarity. When you remove the yellowing leaves, the dry branches, the inward growing stems, you're making space for new blooms. But you're also signaling something deeper to the home itself. We let go of what no longer supports growth. That's not a gardening tip. That's a mindset shift, and it ripples. One of the most overlooked aspects of working with jasmine is your own energy when caring for it. Jasmine is receptive. If you water it while rushing, while frustrated, while checking off a task list, it won't thrive. But if you take a breath before touching the soil, if you pause to feel your own mood as you care for it, the plant shifts. And so do you, because jasmine mirrors intention. It doesn't need dramatic rituals, it needs presence. A quiet voice saying, "May this house be kind again." A silent hope that dinner conversations will feel warmer. That your teenage daughter will sit at the table a little longer. That the air between you and your partner will feel lighter, easier, less like a hallway filled with unspoken things. Jasmine doesn't fix those things, but it holds space for them to soften. And that's what makes it so powerful. It's not a showy flower, but it's emotionally magnetic. When planted right, it draws in a kind of invisible peace, not one you can explain, but one you feel, in the way the house exhales after a long day, in the way someone lingers in a room a few minutes more, in the way your shoulders drop without realizing as you pass by it. So if you already have jasmine and it doesn't feel like it's helping, don't get rid of it. Move it, shift it, open space around it, let the scent move freely. Let the plant reach toward morning light and let your own presence change the way it grows, because healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it smells like jasmine at dusk, soft, steady, and quietly life-changing. Part 4, 2 flowers, 2 energies, 1 quiet shift. You don't need to redo your whole house to feel different in it. You don't need to remodel or rearrange every room. Sometimes the biggest shift begins outside with just 2 flowers standing at a distance from each other, holding 2 very different kinds of energy. Magnolia, Alba, and Jasmine. One anchors, the other uplifts, and together, when placed with care, they don't just decorate your garden, they rewire the way your home breathes. Let's be clear, this isn't magic. It's not some secret formula that fixes everything overnight. It's about energy, how it moves, where it flows, and what happens when 2 forces that are meant to balance end up colliding. That's the mistake many people make. They plant what they love wherever it fits. But not all beauty belongs side by side. Magnolia and Jasmine each carry a rhythm. When placed too close, they don't dance, they compete. Magnolia pulls inward. Its energy is deep, calm, grounding. It helps the mind rest, helps the body slow down, makes a space feel rooted. Jasmine, on the other hand, spreads outward. It stirs emotion. It softens conflict. It brings people back to each other gently. Think of Magnolia as the bass note in a song, steady and quiet. Jasmine is the top note, light, emotional, unforgettable. And just like in music, if the notes are played too closely or at the wrong time, the harmony disappears. What you're left with is noise, not flow. That's why placement matters. If you have the space, create distance. Let Magnolia claim the east, where the day begins, where grounding is needed most. Let Jasmine live in the northeast, where relationships, learning, and internal peace take shape. Give each plant its own corner of influence. You're not dividing power. You're giving each energy space to express itself. When that happens, your entire home shifts subtly but unmistakably. Picture this: you step out onto your porch in the morning. The east catches the early sun and your magnolia stands there quietly. No drama, just stillness. The kind of stillness that reminds you to take your time, to choose your tone carefully before speaking, to start the day without rushing. Later in the day, you pass the northeast corner. Jasmine catches the afternoon light. Its scent rises slowly, not demanding, but inviting. That fragrance reminds you to ask how your partner's day was, not just what they got done. To sit longer at dinner, to listen even when no one is speaking. One holds the space, one warms it. But here's the secret most people overlook. It's not just about where you plant, it's about the space between them. Energy needs room. If these 2 flowers are placed too closely, their frequencies overlap. Magnolia's calming weight starts to dull Jasmine's lightness. Jasmine's emotional charge starts to fray Magnolia's stability. And you'll feel it, not as conflict, but as restlessness. Like the house can't make up its mind. Like it's asking you to rest and engage at the same time. That tension builds. You get headaches more often. You sleep but don't feel restored. You love your space, but you find excuses to leave it. That's how subtle imbalance works. It doesn't shout, it hums. Until it becomes background noise you learn to live with, but shouldn't have to. Creating balance between 2 energies isn't about symmetry, it's about polarity. About giving contrast the room to exist without blending into static. And when you get that right, the results feel nothing like effort. They feel like relief. Some families notice it the day after they separate the plants. The rooms feel lighter. The conversations are easier. They can't explain why, but they breathe deeper. Others don't notice until later, until a holiday gathering feels less tense, or the home feels warmer with guests, or the children start playing in the same room again instead of drifting into their corners. These are not miracles, they are responses. When a space is aligned, people respond to it differently, and those responses ripple. The house becomes more than shelter, it becomes support. But let's go even deeper. What if you've already planted both flowers and you don't want to move them far? Then make the adjustment energetically. Use soft dividers, a wind chime between them. a hedge, a path, something that separates their energies without disrupting the beauty. Sometimes even a symbolic gesture, a line of white stones, a gentle arc of herbs can signal to the space. This is where grounding ends and where opening begins. You can also separate them in care. Tend to Magnolia in the early morning. Touch its leaves, trim its branches, water it while the day is still soft. Let that moment ground you before the noise begins. Care for Jasmine in the late afternoon or just before dusk, when emotions settle and the house winds down. Let your hands move slower. Let your breath mirror the plant. That rhythm, morning for strength, evening for tenderness, becomes a new kind of balance in your day. The act of tending becomes the ritual, and rituals, even small ones, change homes, not because the house knows, but because you begin to show up differently, more aware, more intentional, and that energy becomes contagious. You'll notice you talk differently to others in the house. You listen with more patience. You rest without guilt. You speak with more care. Not because the flowers did anything magical, but because they reminded you to act in alignment with what you actually want to feel. That's the power of two flowers, two energies, and one quiet shift. So if you feel like your home is beautiful but unsettled, ask yourself this: are your energies overlapping? Are you trying to hold stillness and motion in the same breath? Have you asked two flowers to speak at the same time? Because sometimes the solution isn't adding more. It's stepping back, making space, allowing what's already there to do what it was meant to do. And when that happens, when two very different energies are allowed to exist in harmony but not in conflict, you don't need to announce that change. People will feel it the moment they step through your door. They'll breathe easier without knowing why. Part 5. The soil hears your wish even if no one else does. Sometimes you whisper something to the earth not because you expect a reply, but because there's no one else you trust with the truth of it. You kneel by a flower pot, hands deep in damp soil, and somewhere between the silence and the stillness, a thought slips out. Let this house feel safe again. Or maybe it's quieter than that. Just a breath, just a feeling, something you don't even know how to name, and the soil takes it. It doesn't interrupt. It doesn't ask questions. It just holds the moment and remembers. We don't always realize it, but planting is intimate. Not because it's physical, but because it's vulnerable. You're placing life into the ground and asking it to become something more. That request carries energy, and intention is energy in its most honest form. It doesn't need words, it only needs presence. That's why people who rush through planting often feel disconnected from the outcome. The flower grows, but something feels missing. As if beauty happened, but meaning didn't. Because they planted the root, but not the wish. The truth is, the soil hears you. Not with ears, but with memory. It holds the fingerprints of your hope, the tension in your shoulders as you pressed it down, the softness in your breath as you stepped back. If you planted while distracted or frustrated, the energy lingers. If you planted with care, even quietly, the energy settles differently. You can feel it in the way the plant grows, steady, graceful, undisturbed, like it knows what it was made for. And this is why planting should never be treated like a chore. It's not a task to cross off a list. It's a moment to realign, to turn off the noise of the day and touch something older than worry. To remind your body what stillness feels like. Because the earth does more than grow things. It grounds you. And when you place your hands in it, you're not just anchoring a flower. You're anchoring yourself. Many people think rituals are elaborate. Candles, chants, special days. But some of the most powerful rituals are ordinary. Pouring water slowly. Brushing the soil off your palms without hurrying, whispering something no one else needs to hear, that's enough. Because the moment becomes a message, and messages rooted in quiet are often the ones that last. I knew a woman who always touched the soil before speaking. Just one hand on the edge of the planter, like she was checking in with something steadier than herself. She said it helped her feel real. Like all the noise in her head couldn't follow her into the garden. She never prayed out loud, never made a show of it, but her plants thrived. Her home felt peaceful. People stayed longer in her kitchen without knowing why. It wasn't just what she grew. It was how she grew it, with presence, not performance. When you approach planting this way, something changes. Your garden stops being decorative, it becomes reflective. It mirrors what you're cultivating inside. And sometimes that mirror is honest in ways we're not ready for. A plant that doesn't bloom might be echoing something stuck in you. A flower that grows wildly might be reflecting a season of expansion you haven't yet embraced. These aren't metaphors, they are messages. You just have to listen. And that listening starts before the seed. It starts with the soil, with how you show up to the act of planting. Not just with your tools, but with your energy. Ask yourself, am I planting this because I want to rush something into bloom, or because I want to slow down and root myself again? Am I filling space or making space? The difference matters, and the plant will know. This is especially true with Magnolia and Jasmine. These are not passive flowers. They don't bloom for show. They bloom for connection. They respond to presence. They thrive in alignment, and they carry the energy you give them. So when you place your hand in the soil before planting them, let it be more than placement. Let it be a pause, a soft declaration. Something like, may this flower hold the calm I'm still learning to keep. Or may this scent remind my family how to come back to each other. You don't need to say it out loud. The soil already hears you. And when the plant blooms, because it will, you'll notice more than just petals. You'll notice that you walk slower past it, that you water it with more patience, that the space around it feels different, like it's been touched by something private but permanent. That's the power of planting with intention. It doesn't just change the plant, it changes your relationship to your space. So the next time you pick up a flower, don't just think about where it looks good. Think about what it might hold. Think about what you're handing to the earth, not just in form, but in feeling. Think about the version of yourself who will pass by that plant weeks from now and plant for her. Because maybe she'll be tired that day. Maybe the house will feel heavy again. Maybe she won't have words for what she's carrying, but when she sees that flower, she'll remember the moment you placed it there. She'll remember the breath you took, the pause, the presence, and maybe, just maybe, that will be enough to help her come back to herself. Because the soil never forgets a wish made in stillness, and neither do we. Final, so maybe now, when you look at a magnolia tree or catch the scent of jasmine in the evening air, you'll see more than just flowers. You'll remember what they hold. Two kinds of energy, two kinds of silence. One rooting you, the other reminding you to soften. And between them, a space you get to shape, not with rules or rigid beliefs, but with something far more powerful, attention. You see, the way we care for our home reflects how we care for ourselves. Not in perfection, not in grand gestures, but in small moments. The breath before you plant, the pause before you prune, the choice to move something just a little closer to where light lives. That's not decoration. That's design with intention, and intention changes everything. Because energy is always moving. It never disappears. It flows through our rooms, our bodies, our routines. And when we stop to notice, truly notice, we become part of that flow, not fighting it, not forcing it, just aligning with it. And that alignment is where healing begins, not loudly, not all at once, but gently, lastingly. If you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you for staying, for listening with your heart, not just your ears, for being someone who wants to make their space not just prettier, but more peaceful. And if today gave you even one quiet thought to carry with you, I'm deeply grateful. May your soil always feel soft enough to plant new beginnings. May your air stay clear enough for jasmine to bloom. And may your home, wherever it is, however it looks, always be a space that breathes with you, not against you. Take care. And may peace meet you at the door every time you return.